Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, I love the balloons.
All right, can you see me now? Perfect. How is everybody? We're getting settled. We have some breakfast here, so we'll get started in just 1 minute. Okay, can y'all see my screen? Yes, and y'all can see that. Okay, perfect. Awesome. How is everybody this morning? Good deal. Awesome. Well, as we're getting started, people are jumping in and getting settled. We're going to start our bold meeting with some gratitude. What do we have gratitude for this morning? Not everybody at once.
I am in Chattanooga with my family and friends, and I'm so happy to be here.
That's awesome. See, I got chat. Someone in the chat. Ooh. Anybody else?
I'm thankful that I got to go to Gatlinburg last week with my family. That was fun.
Those pictures look awesome, Sarah. I'm so glad you had a good time.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I am so thankful that I have an amazing team at our office that can keep the ball rolling while I'm gone.
That's right. Take care of business.
Yep.
That's what leverage is for, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Who else? One more. Come on.
Well, I'm thankful because my baby boy is home for Christmas before he heads out for Korea for a year. So like Sarah said, I'm grateful for a team.
Yeah, and thankful for his service and y'all's sacrifice as a family. It's not easy, for sure.
As he would say, it's my pleasure.
Oh, that's very sweet. You raised a good boy. Man boy. Yeah. All right. We got a couple other people jumping in. Does anybody else have a gratitude while we're letting everybody get in on the Zoom world?
Hey, Katie, I'll jump in. My name's Todd Smith, for those of you that I haven't met yet. And I'm grateful to Katie and Carmen and the leadership team for this opportunity to launch Bold and get to visit with you guys a little bit today. So thank you so much for having me be a part of your family. It's always great to meet new Keller Williams family.
For sure. We're very excited to get to know you. All right. I think I've seen the last person. If you are on Zoom and you can be on camera, please do so. We want to see your smiling face.
For sure.
It's not quite as fun talking to the screen. Although I have my new co-host chairs here and I'm pretty excited about those. So, all right, we're gonna get going. Katie Douglas is here and Rob Foglia is here. So I'm gonna let Katie go first. Katie's gonna share her Bold story, why she feels like it's important. If you are new to Bold, it is a phenomenal program. It's very important to me. And the reason being is you cannot get this anywhere else. So many agents I sit with, and I looked at my multi-year trend. I've had over 1,000 appointments the last 3 years. Like that's face-to-face, 1,000 people. And everybody that has any struggle in real estate, what do you think they want? More.
Consistency.
More, right? More coaching, more training, more leads, more time, more leverage, more of all of that. And Bold really encapsulates that and puts you in a very inclusive environment that produces those things. And so whatever that is for you, that more is for you, Bold is a great opportunity to jump into that. So we're gonna hear a lot more about it. If you're like, what are they talking about? Just hang tight with us. I promise this will make sense. By 10:30, you're going to be ready to go. So hang tight. And I'm going to let Katie Douglas share her Bold story. And she's 4 times bold. So good job, Katie Douglas.
Katie.
Come on.
Well, there's a couple of things, but I think the main thing that sticks out for me is I learned this the first time I took Bold, and I still remember it today. And it's just kind of my Bold law is that our mornings are our future and our afternoons are our clients' future. And so what it did was it changed my mindset as to if I'm not working on new business, then I'm not going to have any income. So being able to devote that time in the morning to creating new business and then do the follow-up in the business that I'm working on in the afternoon really helped me leverage my time and also be intentional about what I'm doing. And the other thing is that a lot of it is about mindset, and you do work on yourself, but at the same time, the contacts and the people that you meet, you will learn infinitely from them as well as the Bold coach, and you will make relationships that will help you down the road. One of the first Bolds that I took, I met several people from Birmingham, and that's probably been, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And one of the Bold people in Birmingham, I've still kept in contact. Well, both of them two of them I've kept in contact with. And I was in Birmingham recently and I reached out to her. I needed something and she was on top of it. And I could emphatically say, yes, I trust this person. And she sent me referrals and I've sent her referrals. And then the other thing is that, and I don't remember which Bold it was, but Adam Beams and Jeremy and remind me the other one, Britt, they were all in Bold with us. And so if you're even remotely thinking about not doing this, you're doing yourself a big service because you're making an investment in yourself. But Adam and his team can tell you what Bold has done for them because they took it and ran with it, and they were new agents. But it's not just for new agents, it's for everybody who's in real estate. And the amount of money that you pay for it is a huge investment in yourself. And that tidbit from the first one that I learned, that my mornings are my future and my afternoons are my client's future, was worth 50 times what I paid for it. So sign up. It's a phenomenal experience. You will grow as a person, you will grow your business, and it will just help you tremendously. And so if you don't do it, you're really missing out. If you want to build a big future and a big business, Bold is a great way to do it.
Your check is in the mail, Katie. No, really. I mean, that's a true experience. It's kind of like, I feel like the first time you hear about it and you're like, oh man, that's pretty intense, right? And then you see these agents like Katie and Rob, and the list goes on. Todd, you could probably name people that you know that have done it 20 plus times, you yourself, right? The reason they keep coming back is because it's worth it. And it's because that you don't get that inclusive environment anywhere else. Rob, are you there?
I am here. How's it going?
Good. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate the invite to join KW Montgomery today.
Yeah. Hey, you have to check out our new space. It's so fancy since you've been here. So
Awesome.
Rob did Bold in Birmingham in 2019. Was that when you?
It was, yeah. It was actually 2018 and 2019. I think we met in 2019. And I'm actually out of Nashville. I'm actually an agent out of Nashville. And I drove down to Birmingham both those years to take it with Scott Toombs. It was phenomenal. It was a great Bold experience both times.
Yeah. So tell us why you're 13 times Bold, Rob.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I guess we'll start at the beginning. And so I've been in real estate for about 7 or 8 years now. So really my first Bold was in 2015. I was 1 year in the business, and I didn't cap my first year. I'll just be honest with y'all. I had no clue what I was doing. I took Bold. I ended up, selling 20 homes that second year. Bold gave me a system to plug into, whether that system was scripts, whether that system was even my schedule, just how a top producer actually thinks and how they behave. Gave me that system to plug into. Fast forward to now, aside from being on, as you can see on the screen, 13 times Bold, I served on the ALC now 5 years in a row. I'm our Keller Williams Young Professionals Southeast Regional Ambassador. So a quick plug, if anybody wants to learn more about KWYP, shoot me a PM. I'm happy to chat with y'all. But anyway, the reason I share that is I know that whether it be the opportunity to serve in the ALC, the opportunity to serve through KWYP, I wouldn't have had those opportunities if it wasn't for the experience that I gained through Bold and continuing to take it. And just kind of why it's not, I mentioned that it gave me that system to plug into as a new agent, and it's great for new agents, but it's also great for producing agents who've been around. I mean, the reason I keep going back, in fact, I just graduated for the 13th time just a couple of weeks ago with Dusty here in Nashville. And the reason I keep going back is, in my opinion, we can always get better. Professionals, what's the old saying that amateurs practice until they get it right, and professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. I mean, I'm a big football fan. I mean, and I know I'm a Titans fan being here in Nashville, and yet I know y'all know Derrick Henry from Bama. Derrick Henry didn't stop working out, didn't start practicing, or he didn't stop practicing, didn't stop, reviewing game film just because he got drafted in the pros and started, setting records and all that. He worked out harder once he started to see that success, and to me that's one of the reasons I keep going back. So I don't know what else what else you'd like me to share, Katie, but I'm happy to share whatever you'd like.
I am also working production here with the cameras, so that you can go back and forth. So I just want to know, why is it important to you? Because it is a sacrifice when it's not in Nashville. Mm-hmm. Why do you sacrifice the cost and the travel time and all of those things to do it?
Yeah, and I mean it is to keep getting better. Every time I take Bold, it provides that extra layer of accountability at this point for me to continue to make sure not only am I hitting my contacts, but a lot of times I'm named team captain now, and so I'm got that extra layer of accountability to my team members, things along those lines that just make me perform at a better level. In fact, as I mentioned, I just graduated from Bold for the 13th time, and I mean I'm going into 2022 with the highest production pending that I've had going into a new year. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's because I was just in Bold and taking the doing the activities and actually committed to it and plugging in and doing everything I was supposed to be doing.
What is your year-end production right now, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to close out the year. I got one more pending that's going to close this year that we're going to close out at 7.2 million. And I'm a single agent, by the way, single agent with a full-time admin. So like if you read the Red Book, true level 2 Red Book agent. I'm going into the new year with, I think it's 1.7 pending right now, 1.7 million pending. And I mean, my cap resets January 1st. Pretty cool that I'm basically going to cap the first month of the year. And that wouldn't have happened probably without Bold.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Rob or for Katie? This is our Zoom panel style. So typically someone would be in person, you know, so just pretend they're here with us. It's Star Trek style in person. Any first time Bold people that are like, what are they talking about? They're friendly. They're really nice people. Okay. Are y'all sure? Carmen, why don't you tell us about your Bold experience?
So I have done Bold 3 times in person. I've never done it digital. And I will be honest, you are not signing up for something easy, but you are signing up for something that will change your life. It's truly, truly life-changing. You know, I tell y'all the story about going shopping and getting, you know, a massive client. That was during Bold. I probably would not have been so gung-ho about making the contacts if I weren't in the program. And that client, we've closed 1.3 million with them, and it was through Bold. So, I mean, I think the investment was well worth it. And January to me is the best time to do it. Kickstart your year. Yeah, I mean, I really, really challenge y'all to do it. It's tough, but it is rewarding.
That's awesome. All right, Katie, Rob, Carmen, what is the final thing you would say? If you had one thing to say to this group of people, we have about 20 people collectively online and in person. What would you say that they need to walk away with today about Bold?
Do it.
That's good. I love it. Nike style.
If you're serious about your business and being a true owner, you need to do this.
I would add to all of that and just say that I'm a true believer in the saying that it's about the journey and not about the destination, right? I think Bold helps you become helps you get better along the journey. It doesn't just it changed my mindset in such a profound way over the last 6 or 7 years now. That I mean, it's tough for me to put into words in for 30 seconds, but it's helped me just appreciate the journey and have gratitude throughout the journey instead of just focusing on one end goal. And it's just changed my mindset in such a profound way. I highly recommend you take it. It's going to do wonders for your production and for you from a mindset standpoint.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much for showing up today. Rob, if you need to jump off, you're welcome, but you're welcome to stay too. So it's totally up to you.
I might hang around for a few minutes, hear what what Bold Coach Todd has to say. I'm curious about that.
That's right. All right, Todd, coming over to you. And did you try to share? Because I'm clicking all the things.
Yeah, it is. And hi, everybody. It is still saying I can't share at the very moment. So I'll just keep clicking. I'll keep checking that as you
wait. Let me stop share. That might fix it. Now try.
Bingo. There you go.
I'll just keep clicking till it works.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, we can see that. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let me adjust my screen. We will jump in and have a conversation. I see a couple of the questions in the chat. We're going to definitely answer those questions. I can't see obviously everybody because I've got the screen up, and if someone maybe on leadership can monitor the chat if there's questions. Team, listen, first of all, I'm just here to share. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I think what Katie, Rob, and Carmen just shared are truly their experiences through going through Bold. Please grab a pen and paper because I'm definitely going to take you through some ideas. I basically have three goals for our time together today. Number one, my goal really truly is to add value, to share some ideas, concepts. Some of it might be new for you. Some of it might be a reminder. Some of it might be things that help kind of spur new thoughts for you to then follow up with myself and or your leadership team to be able to expand on these ideas. Number two goal is to challenge your thinking. You know, the way we think shows up in our world. The bigger we think, the more we remove what we call limiting thoughts or beliefs, the more opportunities show up in our life. And then the third goal that I wrote down is to learn a little bit more about what the Bold experience is like that we're bringing into your area in just about 30 days. I mean, it's going to be here pretty quick. Really, really excited about that. And of course, ultimately, the goal would be that you would come to the conclusion that participating and joining us during the Bold experience would benefit you personally, and it would benefit you professionally. So that said, before I jump in, we've heard from Katie and Rob and Carmen, and then the 1,000 appointments that Katie's gone on meeting people over the last few years. So I got started just really, really quick. So, you know, who is this guy? Who is this Bold coach? Who is this person? So I got started in the business in 1990. Don't I look good? Not much hair left. So yeah, 31 years I've been in real estate, and unofficially since I was 8 years old. I've done a little bit of everything at Keller Williams, from being an individual agent. Like Rob, I loved how you said a true level 2. I love that you know your models in the MREA. Great job. ALC, team leader, One Thing certified trainer, Keller Williams University approved trainer, all these various things that I've been able to do over the years. And today I'm just going to share with you what I've learned. That's really the goal, is to take all those 30 years and maybe 30 minutes or less and just highlight a few things to be able to share with you. So let's jump right in here. As Katie said right off the top of the call, the best experience that I know we can have for you is for you to participate, for you to be off mute. When I ask a question, please respond. We don't need to have a boring Zoom. Zoom's not bad. Zoom's bad when we are boring. When we're not boring, Zoom can be just fine. Do y'all relate with me? So let's just be present. Let's not be multitasking, because I promise you there's one thing minimum that I will share today that will kind of hit a nerve, that will make you think differently, that'll stick to your ribs, that you'll be able to take and set you up for success in 22. And that's really the whole point of this morning's conversation. So let me share this first thought with you. I like to say the biggest room in life is the room for improvement. Could you all relate? Does that make sense? The biggest room in life is the room for improvement, right? And then when change is desired, awareness is required. So there's really no way, by the way, that Montgomery, that training room, all the balloons, you guys look awesome. I'm moving my screen around. So wave your hands in the air like you don't care. Come on. Okay, so you guys are real. Okay, I just want to make sure that Katie didn't, I wanted to make sure you're real. When change is desired, awareness is required, right? We first have to be aware of something in order to be able to change it. Now, true or false, and this is more of rhetorical, sometimes we don't want to be aware because we don't want to face reality. Has anybody been like that, or is it just me?
Absolutely.
Right. It's just the way life is. We're all human beings, right? So to make a change, the first thing we have to change is the way you what? What do you think the fill in there is? Anyone shout it out? To make a change, the first change is the way you. Yeah, that's it. In fact, this round of Bold, what we're focusing on, amongst other things, and we'll touch on that in a moment, is the two things we can control, right? So if Rob just went through with Dusty, you remember we were talking about mindset and actions. That's really it. We got to focus on what we can control and stop focusing on what we can't control. We got to focus on only what we can control. So there's a Bold law that ties into this. Change your thinking, change your world. In fact, for those of you that are completely new to the Bold experience, there's 34 Bold laws, and these are basically guideposts on your way to success. So change your thinking, change your world. So let's look at the mind for a moment. Now, I don't profess to be a psychologist or a doctor, and yet I do know enough about the mind to know that there's two parts to the mind. You have your conscious mind, which means you're hearing my voice, you're aware of the chair you're sitting in, you can touch the table, you are aware. That's what you're in control of. The second part of the mind is our unconscious mind, which we're not in control of. We don't have as much influence. Here's what we know though. We know that the unconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. We know that the conscious mind is the goal setter. This is what I desire. However, what we don't always realize is the unconscious mind is the goal getter. So we have to somehow bring the alignment between the two parts of our mind, and in the middle there, and I live this every day, just like you, we all have them, the limiting beliefs, right? Do we all have limiting beliefs to some degree? Who will say yes?
Yes.
All day
Yes.
long, all day long. If you don't, we're kidding ourselves, right? So this is where coaching, everybody, comes in. And if you notice that coaching comes in and it helps remove the limiting beliefs, doesn't mean eliminate. It helps remove them, be aware of them. And then what it does is it helps align those two minds so that we can move closer to our goal. So the reason I start with the mind and not a listing presentation is because if we had a great listing presentation and we don't have alignment within our mind, the listing presentation will probably never get off to the level or the capacity in which that you could once we get lined up mentally. So let's look at the next step. The next step is how a mind is formed. So how is mindset formed? Well, there's three parts that we want to talk about today. First is nature. So when you're talking about nature, it's who you're born, where you're born, people you're born. By the way, do we have any control over that? Say no. We have no control, no influence whatsoever. It's our very early formative years. Another piece of that would be nurture. Nurture, if you think about all the educators, our parents as we grew up, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, our neighbors, coaches, mentors, a piano instructor, whoever it might be. That's the nurture. And as we maybe get into our teens or later teens, I think you would agree that we have some influence about who we would pick when in that part of our life to influence us. And the third piece is strictly our environment. So our environment makes up part of our mindset too. I mean, think about the environment that we're living in right now, right? I mean, a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was like, don't go in the environment. You will get sick. And right now, we got to be cautious of this too, yes? So the one I want to ask you about, though, is which one of these can you control? Which environment can you choose? Environment's the only one. And bold, as we heard from Katie and Rob and Carmen, and is an environment. The bold classroom's an environment. And that bold classroom, we have 7 different steps we go through. Each one is 1 week, 1 day, 1 week. So literally we have a 7-week process where we're in an environment that is supporting you, where you can learn, where you can grow, where you can develop your skills and your mindset. That full immersion is what allows change to happen. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Now, Gary Keller says this, that we've got to work in the current market and we need to prepare for the market that's coming. So this is where I want to challenge your thinking just a little bit. Are you preparing for the current market that's coming ahead of us? And let me ask you, and please answer out loud, even if you're in the training room and I can't hear you. Is this current market that we're in sustainable? Can it last forever? Yes or no?
No.
Cannot.
No.
That's the only thing that we know about real estate, right? Is your current business ready for a shift, and are you prepared? I just want you to ask in your mind, are you prepared? I'd like to share with you, if you've heard this before, there's 5 P's when we're talking about preparation. You might want to write it down. Here's a takeaway. The 5 P's for preparedness is prior planning. I'll say this a few times. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Prior planning prevents poor performance. I'll say it one more time. Prior planning prevents poor performance. So are you prepared? Here's what we know. There's no doubt about it. It's proven that we're going to teach you the systems and the models that top producers use so you can have a sustainable business. That's what bold is. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do here, we're going to go through a little exercise, and I'm going to ask you to be really honest with yourself, because we said back in the very beginning that in order for us to change anything, we have to first have awareness. So when we're talking about money leaks, what I'd like you all to think about, by a show of hands, how many of you have a bank account? Real high in the training room. They say, okay, everybody, got a bank account, right? So I just want you to play along with me. Thanks, Maria. I just want you to play along with me. If you got a phone call, Gerald, from your bank this morning, or Rob, or Carmen, and the bank manager called you and said, hey, I just want to let you know, overnight, when we came in this morning, we noticed that there was a leak in your bank account. Money is leaking out. We haven't really been able to determine at what rate per hour. We do know that your balance is going down swiftly. What would you do? You'd immediately go to the bank. A lot of you are on mute, so I can't hear you. Would you all agree? Yeah. What'd you say, Maria?
You fix it, fix
Yeah,
it, fix it.
You would do something about it. You would take
Yes.
action. You wouldn't just hang up or go back on Facebook or Instagram or go to breakfast. You'd go immediately to the bank and get that resolved. So what I want to share with you is what I, as a coach, part of the time when I wasn't a Bold coach, I did one-on-one coaching and had about 8,000 calls with realtors all over the country, from California to Florida and in between. By the way, I did that in a really good market between 2007, 8, 9, and 10. It wasn't a really good market. And this is what I noticed a lot of realtors have when it comes to money leaks. So I'm going to ask you to write these down. So I'm going to ask you to play at a high level, because even for some reason, if you don't join us in Bold, this should serve you for awareness to be able to make some changes. So here they are. The most common money leaks, Number one, lead generation. Just write down LG for lead generation. And I'm going to ask you to write quickly and abbreviate just so we can stay within the time allotted. The next one I'm going to ask you to write down for a money leak is lead follow-up. So you can just put L/W, L/FU, whatever you want to do there. So the first two is lead gen, lead follow-up. The third money leak that we see a pattern when I'm coaching agents is time self-management, scheduling, use of your day, however you want to call that. So please be writing these down, because I'm going to be asking you for a number in a moment. The fourth money leak is around mindset. So in other words, a mindset issue, might it be self-confidence that's lacking, stinking thinking, negativity, however you want to look at it, something mindset related. Number 5 was proficient. I use the word proficient communication skills. Your ability to communicate at a high level with the consumer, might it be face-to-face on a listing appointment, a buyer appointment, showing property, negotiating with another agent, working with a lender, title company, whoever it is. We really need to be the masters of communicators and be able to articulate what the intended message is in a way in which everyone can receive that, so that we can have smooth transactions. Would you agree? 2 more real quick. Missed opportunities in your database. In other words, we're gonna go over this here in just a moment, but think about your database. Your database, as Gary Keller says, your database is your business. Missed opportunities. We're gonna show you those real quick before we go today. And last one, a big money leak. Post-closed systems. Post-close. In other words, once the transaction's over, how are you maintaining the relationship with that customer or client so that you could earn repeat business and you can earn referral business? Now, I'll be very transparent with you, and I always will be all the way through the Bold experience. In fact, you'll probably learn more from me of what I did wrong than what I did right. And I'm open to sharing what I did wrong. I have no problem with that. In fact, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? And by the way, there's a lot to laugh at for me. I was really good at acquiring the lead, getting into the transaction, closing the deal, and then I went on to the next deal so fast that my big issue was post-close transactions. I'm not exaggerating, team. I've been doing this 31 years. It's cost me well over millions of dollars by not staying in the relationship, by not earning all that repeat and referral business. Not only has it cost me money, it's made me work harder. So learn from my mistake. That's also part of Bold. So here's what I want to ask you to do. And I'm going to give you 1 minute, and I'll just be quiet for a minute. If you wrote those down, what I'd like to ask you to do is go back to each one and ask yourself this question. How many potential transactions am I losing in each one of those categories? For example, if I'm lead generating at a really, really high level, then it would be 0. If you're not lead generating at a really high level, is it possible you're losing a deal a month? That would be 12. 2 a month, 24. I don't know. You answer it. What about lead follow-up? Same question. How's my lead follow-up? Am I really good? Am I organized? Am I consistent? Am I losing business because of my lack of leads? And how much business am I losing? Is it a deal a month? That would be 12 a year. My mindset, my management of time, go through there real quick. And what I'd like you to do is just come up with a total number of potential units, lost opportunity income around these money leaks. I'll give you guys a minute. If you grab a pen, if you haven't, let's do this now. And there's no perfect answer. I mean, at least write down one in each category. I think we'd all agree, right, that there's at least one. So I'll give you guys another 30 seconds or so. Play at a high level. Now, there's a couple ways we could do this. If you would like, you can either open up your mic if you're willing to share the number you came up with. We could put it in the chat, but I'd love to hear from at least 1 or 2 or 3 of you. If you did go through the exercise, what number did you come up with potential lost opportunity units in these categories? Anybody? Who will go first? Anything in the chat?
I'm also 24, Rob. My follow-up and missed opportunities.
Thank you for posting that, by the way. All right, so I've got a couple of 24s. Is there anyone else that'd be willing to share? This isn't embarrassing, by the way. You know, if your number is higher or lower, or there's no wrong in this, this is a great, in fact, the bigger your number, the more money you've got coming in. Let's get one more number. Who will share that's in the training room? Who will it be? Come on.
Don't make me sing the Jeopardy song.
I'm sorry, Katie, I didn't hear you.
I don't know my problem, but I don't know the number, but I know what my problem is.
What is it?
I don't do post follow-up.
Post follow-up,
Post-closing.
post-closing systems.
How many transactions, just if you were to just guess, how many do you think that is?
At least 20.
20.
Okay. So here's the idea, and you can go back and fine tune this later, team. Here's what I would just suggest, and thank you for whoever that was that participated in the training room. I appreciate that. I talked to Katie earlier, and she said that the average commission in your guys' area, Rob, you'd have to fill in the blank on yours, was around $6,000. Is that reasonable? So on 24 units, let's do the math. What's 24 times 6? 144,000, yes? So the idea is that if we were to clean up those leaks, right? Specifically, Rob, you put 24 in the chat. There's 150,000 gross income sitting out there right now for 2022 for you, or whatever your number was. It's a big number. Would y'all agree? If you did the math, and I hope you will, this is a huge opportunity, nothing to be depressed about. In fact, I hope you're inspired to see that, wow, there's opportunity. Now the question is, how can we together partner to help you capture that and bring that home into your bank account and stop the leak? So the last thing before I go to the next slide is, do understand, if you don't do Bold, that's a choice. Bold could stop the leak. If it's not going to be Bold, what will you do to stop the leak? So you got to do something. The leak is there. Okay. Grab your telephones, everybody, real quick. I want to show you another one real quick. Grab your telephones. Go to your contacts, please. Go to your contacts. And I don't know what kind of device you have, but either at the top or all the way at the bottom, you're going to see a total number of people in your database or in your telephone. And what I'm going to ask you to do, and I'm not going to ask for your numbers, I'm just going to ask you to do this math. Take the total number of contacts in your telephone and multiply that times 6.4%. So however many people you have in your telephone, if you had 250 people, 6.4% is 16. I'd like everybody to do that really quick. Grab your phone, go in your contacts, and do 6.4%. And if you want to share the number, please do. What you're looking at, if you're doing the math on this, everybody, is the potential amount of business that's right in your telephone based on the National Association of Realtors statistics. We'll go deeper into that in bold. What I'd like you to ask yourself is how many referrals did you get in 2021 compared to the number that you just did on your telephone? Which number's bigger, the referrals or the opportunity that you haven't brought home? That's another thing we're going to show you, is to put systems around already the leads that are sitting right in your telephone. Okay. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that? Here's how we do it. It's pretty simple. We use one of the 6 personal perspectives, moving from E to P. And I'm going to share this with you really quick. How do we do all of this? We have to move from E to P, which means E is the entrepreneurial style. It's what comes naturally to us. We do this based on our reaction or our impulse. And take a look at the middle screen, everybody. Do you notice right in the middle that gray bar that says the fundamental ceiling of achievement? That's you hitting the ceiling. The ceiling you hit could be an income ceiling, could be a listings taken ceiling, buyers represented ceiling, number of appointments ceiling, time ceiling. Whatever that ceiling of achievement, you hit it, you pull back, we get disappointed, we gear up again only to hit it, and we go through this vicious cycle. But I'm not going to ask a rhetorical question because I know most of us go through that. How do we get through the ceiling? We break through by going into P. Katie is awesome at this. I hear her use the word intentional a lot. The way we break through the ceiling is moving from E into P, which is our purposeful style, doing what comes unnaturally. And we do that through training, coaching, and consulting. And what I want you to notice in the top screen there, it says there's 5 pieces. Bold will help you bring focus and accountability. And then in the middle is what we teach you, the strategic options, models, and systems that are proven since 1983, MREA 2001, etc. That's how you break through to higher levels of success. Now, this is what we're going to teach in bold. This is just a snippet. It's ultimately this bold law, be, do, achieve. And I want you to notice, let me move that out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. This be, do, achieve, you can see that now, right? I want you to understand that be is your mindset, do are the activities. So it's who are we becoming and what are we doing? Be, do, be, do. Sometimes it's be, do, be, do, be, do, be, do, be, do, be, do, and then we achieve. Now, most agents, where do you think they start? And I'm asking somebody to open their mic up or put this in the chat. Where do you think most agents start? Do you think they start and focus on who they need to become to achieve the level of success they desire? Do you think it's the things that they do is where they start? Or do people focus mostly on the achieve? There's no right or wrong. I'm just curious. Where do you think most real estate agents start? Be, do, or achieve? Who will answer? Open up your mic. Where
Training
do we
groups
start?
that do.
The do, right? I can't tell you how many times, you're right. People come up to me in the bold class and say, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I do that? They're doing all over themselves. It's not about the do. It's about who are you becoming? It's an inside out thing. Who do I have to become to list 2 homes every month? Who do I have to become? How do I have to show up? How do I have to think differently to be able to sell 25 homes a year, 12 homes a year, 50 homes a year? And then becoming to doing is what we achieve. And these are the things that we teach in bold. I'm not going to keep this up very long. I'm just going to share a few of the things. This right here is our B part. There's 28 different things that you will learn during the 7 weeks around the mindset. We go over every one of these. And again, I'm not going to go deep dive on those. That's not the intent today. I just want to let you know that over the 7 weeks, we literally do 28 different things on the mindset. After the mindset, we know being, we've learned a lot, we've got to do. These are another 28 things, 29 things actually, that we work on about doing, the do part. So we know when we get the be do right, we do the achieve well, and that's the whole purpose of Bold. So there's a lot of content that we cover. And I just also want to mention that Bold's not just educational, as many of you testimonies this morning. It's also transformational. So I want to wrap up with a 4.5-minute video. So make sure that your guys' volume's up. I want to also make sure that my volume is up. So if Carmen, because I can see you, if you can give me a thumbs up when this plays, that you can hear the sound. So let's just go ahead and watch this and then we'll wrap up. Any questions you have, I'm happy to hang out a moment.
Lizzie she's like my faith child. We are blessed with three, beautiful kids, and she's the one in the middle. Right from when she was born, we always knew she was a special one.
Full of life. She loves dancing. She loves her friends. Her favorite color is pink. Yeah, like a girly pink.
She has sickle cell anemia, and that's one of the reasons why we don't want to get her involved in sports. But you can't stop a child from living a life, and she told me that Dad, I need to live my life. I need to enjoy my life. Don't hold me back. So we enrolled her in cheerleading, and last day of that first month of really grueling practices that they were doing, that she had an accident.
The day of the accident, I was playing Pee Wee football, and Lola was in cheer across the field. And what happened is, I guess the girls threw her in the air, and when they didn't catch her, and she landed on her head.
From there, we rushed to the hospital. They had to rush her in because the blood was swelling really bad, and unfortunately, it resulted in brain surgery.
We were there for almost 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, she came home and I remember just being so sad because she wasn't the same.
When she left the hospital, she was diagnosed to be vegetable for the rest of her life. I never accepted that. I rejected that right from the beginning.
Elizabeth, you do it good. It's your last time on this.
Coming into 2013, was my number one goal was, this is going to be the year I will see her walking. I've been a Bold student several times. Matter of fact, it was my 4th time taking Bold. And this time, we went through the session where they played the Miracle Man video. The part that caught my attention strongly this time was when he put his mind to it that I'm going to walk out of this hospital. So I'm like, okay, that's the same mindset I need to have, with my daughter, that we're gonna make our own miracle steps with you. And I looked around and I said, hey, 4 months coming up is graduation. Let's put that as a goal. So I sat down with the therapist and I told them, here's my goal. June is coming. I want to at least see her to be able to walk there and pick up a certificate.
They practice, they walk every day. They do that on the street. In my garage, you can see our walkway.
And I know in Bold, you say something over and over, you give it a chance to happen. That's what I kind of work with her on, saying that I can, I will, there's no but, and there's no try.
Now she's kind of come to a point where she realizes, instead of using her favorite phrase of I can't do that or I can't do this, which she did a lot in the beginning, she's much more open to just doing it and just thinking let's give it a try, see what my body will let me do, if I work hard.
The day of graduation, with my guidance on the right side, we're able to make those steps.
When I saw my daughter, she stood up and she walked toward the podium and she received a certificate. I was so happy.
I feel like ever since Bold, it's given him this will to just want to do better, like not only in his job, but like want to do better for the family and want to do good by Elizabeth's side, like want to see her do good.
In my Bold class, we used to say, I'm a great salesperson, I'm a great salesperson, I'm a great salesperson. And I took that to like, I'm a great listing agent, I'm a great listing agent. And then I took it to my daughter and say, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna work. So those things, you can make it apply to your life.
You guys keep doing that Bold program, and I'm telling you, there are so many thousands, millions of people that are out there that would definitely benefit from it. I do, my family do, and even my husband in his business, my children in their education, even me in my profession. It's working well for us.
And I gotta say, Keller Williams, I mean, you can't be in a better place than a company that takes time to teach us the things that's gonna make our world change. It's making my world change.
So as you can see, this is a bigger deal than just listing houses and showing property. This literally is a life-changing experience when we change how we think. So just to wrap up, there's a bold law that says your business grows to the extent that you do. If you're not seeing as much growth in your business, this is an opportunity to look at that a little closer, grow inside, see your business grow outside. And Gary says one of the best places to invest your money is in people, not just in property. And today the thought is, when is the last time you invested in yourself? Fill the number in there. What was your money leak? Was it bigger than $799? Probably, if you did the exercise many, many times over, if you just had one sale in those 7 categories at an average of $6,000, you're looking at over $40,000. 2022 is an opportunity to really jumpstart things starting in a month. In fact, when you sign up for Bold today, Bold starts now. The mindset, the activities. I will also share with you this thought that I just had this morning. If people are not sure what to get for you for Christmas, there's no better gift than Bold. Some of us are like, I don't need a Christmas gift. Some of us, and I'm going to be very bold in sharing this, get things that we really don't need. Use that gift receipt. Get the cash. Go to Bold. Because let me tell you something, this will keep paying for years to come with the investment that you can continue to make in yourself and in your database and in investments in real estate. So that's really all I've got. I appreciate you guys letting me stay today to share. I'm going to turn it back over to Katie. Any questions anybody has, I'm here to answer them. I don't have to necessarily run off, but I really do appreciate the opportunity. I look forward to meeting a lot of you next month.
You will meet me.
Well, that's awesome. Who is that Amanda?
It is, yeah.
Amanda, have you done Bold before?
Never, I'm brand new.
Wow, what made you just say that?
Because I feel like I would greatly benefit from Bold. I don't have a problem talking to people. And I mean, I'm nervous about some of the activities, obviously, because I know that it's supposed to break you out of your comfort zone. And I'm very comfortable where I'm at. I don't like being uncomfortable. But I did want to ask, I'm not a really big social butterfly. So whenever people ask about how many contacts you have in your phone, I have 200 and about 100 of them are business numbers. So I'm going to have to go and do a little prep work before I do this. So I just didn't know if there was anything that I needed to be doing to prepare to even take Bold when it comes to contacts, stuff like that.
That's a great question. And I will share with you, first of all, congratulations. And we can always talk offline. I'd be happy to, if you want to exchange numbers and go a little deeper, but I do want to answer the question for the group as well.
Okay.
200 team is not a little number. And it's changed the way you look at things and things you look at change, because 6.4% of 200 is 13. 13 times 6,600 is 86,000. That's a lot of money. And we do go through things in the Bold classroom to help you expand that list. We have two very specific exercises that we will go through. We've got a phenomenal names memory jogger. You're going to add to that, I promise you. So we'll help you build that. And there's 4 laws to the database. If you want to write these down, guys, we talk about this in Bold. There's build it. You got to build the database. You know, Amazon, you know, Google, Facebook, wherever your local grocery store, those are all databases. You have a database and we'll help you build your database. Build it, feed it is number 2. Building it is the essentials, where you get all those people into your database. Then you got to feed the database, means little by little, we're growing the database as we evolve in business. And then we've got to basically do what? We've got to engage it. That's the 3rd law of the database, right? We've got to engage the database. We're going to talk very specifically, give you exactly how to do that. And then the last part is service the database. And those are 4 things that we talk about when we're in Bold, and we're going to help you learn all of these things so you have all these tools to be able to do that. The other thing I want you all to think about is, somebody do the math for me. What is 200 times 100? 200 times 100. I heard Carmen. Carmen was saying something on mute.
20,000.
Right. So 200 times 100 is 20,000. Right? Am I right? So
Yeah.
the 200 people you know, realize all people know at least 100 people. So the 200 people is really 20,000 people. So we're going to get, and again, I want to be respectful of time. We're going to get into mind share, market share, and we're going to teach you the things that we know work for other top producers. So growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. I commend you for being brave. This isn't scary. I don't bite. Nothing bad will happen. You're just going to grow. And so will your income, and so will your life. So congratulations. I know that I want to be respectful of time, Katie. So what do you want to share as we wrap up? And I'll follow your lead.
Well, just a couple of things. We have the dates, and location is no longer TBD. It is at the Montgomery Area Association of Realtors. So we're thrilled to have that. Here are the dates if you want to go ahead and mark your calendar for those. Just to be aware, it is 7 weeks, but there's a couple of skip weeks, so it's not consecutive. It will be in person. That is a question I've gotten a lot is, you know, we've done Bold virtual. Is it hybrid? This is in the room with Todd Smith, Carmen Patty, Katie Woodard, live from Montgomery Area Association of Realtors. So, and all of the info will be coming out in email today too. So if for some reason you can't screenshot, you're jotting down, don't worry about it. We'll get it over to you. So those are the dates. I did want to make sure everybody saw those.
Yep. And I know that money should never be a reason, team, to not go to Bold. So if money ever was by the way, whatever the reason is that you can't go to Bold, or if you're thinking or not, is the reason to go. I don't have time. That's why you should go, so we can help you with your time management. I don't have money. Well, that's why we need to go to Bold, so we can help you have money. Well, I'm new. Well, let me help you so you're not new, so you're more of a, I mean, no matter what excuse we come up with, turn it into a reason. Turn it into a reason. So I know that we've got roughly, you said, about 20 people off the top of this, right? When we started today. So what Katie and I spoke about that we're going to do is, this is really just like a call to action, a little incentive, and Katie can share any others that she's got. But what we're going to do is, anyone that signs up literally today and see your team leader, they can help you with that. We're going to have 2 of you drawn, as long as we have 10 sign up today, anywhere in any market center, on the Zoom or not on the Zoom. We're going to draw 2 people that are going to get half off. So we had about 21 people. Right? So we had 21.
I got 2.
So, right. So the thought process is, if we had 20, if half sign up today, then we're going to give half off for 2 winners, right? So that is something. So you'll draw those names, the leadership team. That's just something we're throwing in. And then if there's any other market center incentives you want to talk about now or later? It's up to you because it's
Yes. We also, guys, so we also are doing reimbursement, which we have done before here in Montgomery. You may be familiar with it. Yeah, we're going to kick it up a notch. So if anybody, first of all, the Bold reimbursement is you pay for Bold, you sign up, and then based on the terms and the dates, any contracts that close based on Bold, and we've already talked about the activities you'll be doing. If they close based on Bold, you put it in your commission request. This is because of Bold, and you get a reimbursement portion from transactions. The standard is $100 from transaction for 8 deals up to what you pay full. If you get a half Bold, you're getting your half Bold back. Everybody good? We understand that? It's all written in the agreement that you will sign. Yet, if you do it before the 31st, we're willing to double that reimbursement. So it'd be $200 per transaction. So versus 8 deals, you would need to do 4. Any questions about that? Yes, no, maybe.
I do have a question.
Okay.
So I obviously don't have the money sitting in my back pocket to pay for Bold right at the moment. I do have a closing next week, and I plan on signing up with that. Would I lose? I mean, so that's fine.
That totally works. You brought up, Amanda, you brought up a lot of questions today. We're going to send you your check because you brought some good questions up. But yes, so if you would like it to come out of your commission, that simply talk to the MCA, make sure that it's understood. We have not worked through how that would be put in as a deduction, but I think it can be a one-on-one conversation. So just say, hey, Tony, Maria, I want to pull Bold out of it. If you want to pull a couple $100 for the next few transactions, you know you've got some towards the end of the year, we're happy to do that. Here in Montgomery, we've been talking about that. So if that's something that you already may have been doing that I don't know about, you're welcome to do so. We also have some scholarship opportunities. What I will tell you about that, though, is we're going to validate that it's a need, not a want. This is not a Groupon. So if you're somebody sitting here going, this could really change my life, I just don't have it, have a one-on-one conversation with myself or Carmen. We have some opportunities to make sure that we can do everything in our power to help get you to that spot.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Perfect. Guys, this is going to be powerful. I'm not just selling that. I've got to perform and show up. I promise you I will. I promise you I'll be prepared. I promise you we'll have fun. We'll have breakdowns. We'll have breakthroughs. We'll learn. We'll grow. We'll do it together. So will I. It's a safe room. It's just an opportunity for us to come together and support each other. So I don't know if it's the bottom of the hour. Is anyone else have to talk? I don't want to. Are we good?
No, I don't think Todd was able to join us this morning.
Not a problem. So yeah, by the way, my name's not Todd. That's a joke. My name is actually Rob, and I'm just kidding. Well, team, here's if there's any questions before we jump, I'm here. I'll give you my email if you want to write it down. If you ever want to write to me, if you have a question, the easiest email is Todd, TODD @kw.com. I mean, that's pretty easy, right? Todd
that means you've been here a while. If you've got the first name at KW,
yeah,
you've been here a while.
Yeah, so it was late 0809. Yep. And there's way more. I promise you we will deliver. Takes 2 to tango. You got to come dance too, right? We'll figure this out and you'll grow and we'll move forward. So I want to close with saying thank you again to our leaders. Thank you for being bold. Thank you for raising your hand. Thank you for saying, bring this to us. And this is an opportunity for this part of for this group in this part of the country to have a great kickoff to 2022. So thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
And one thing we didn't mention though, Todd, is on average from Bold in person, there's 11 transactions as a result of taking Bold in person.
Yeah, Bold in person is, I'm not even exaggerating, team. My phone's getting blown up here from the last Bold we just graduated, right while I'm sharing with the teams that are still in relationship. I think Katie Douglas said that earlier, the relationships that are made in the room. I think, what is the gentleman, Rob? Yeah, Rob's relationships that he mentioned. This is multifaceted. It's not just money, it's life. And all I'm going to say, my last parting words, just come, be open, be vulnerable, be transparent. I will. Let's learn, let's grow, let's build a big life. I mean, it's really not that hard. We make it hard. Okay, so we'll see you guys in a month.
All right, well, I look forward to it. Thank
Sounds
you.
great.
I do too. You
All
all
right,
take
all our
care.
agents, you'll be getting the links to register and you'll be hearing from us. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions, just let us know.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.